Hello, welcome to the Searching for the Truth show. Today we have in our midst a very renowned person, and we are here to, search for the truth from him. Since I don't want to waste your time, I would like to go for a commercial break, and when I'm back, I'll introduce my guest to you. So stay tuned. Welcome once again to Searching for the Truth show. Since I told you, today we have in our midst a very renowned man who have been searching for the truth, and we would like to, ask him certain questions that we've been asking for a while. So let me introduce my guest to you. Sofo, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please, since today is our first time of interviewing, you should mention your name to our viewers.
Okay, my name is Jinajom Kofitse Ahaji.
Jinajom.
Jinajom.
The meaning of Jinajom?
The meaning is I shall always be happy.
Jinajom, I shall always be happy.
Yes.
Please, when we say Jinajom Kofitse Ahaji, who is Mr. Opanyin or Sofo Jinajom?
Jinajom Kofitse Ahaji is some young man who has devoted his time to search for the truth about the black race.
All right. And where were you born? Will we know?
I was born in some village or some city called Angloga.
Angloga?
Yes.
Okay.
In the southern Volta region, which used to be part of the slave coast of West Africa.
Okay. So since you started this mission, did you come out with something, great?
Yes, I won't call it great, but I think that my eyes have been opened to realize the falsity of all the claims by the Europeans. Like I have realized that Pythagoras' grandfather was born over 6,000 years after the Pyramid of Giza has been built.
Okay.
So Pythagoras cannot claim to be the inventor of the theorem on the finding of the hypotenuse of a triangle.
All right. Okay. I know we are going to, learn a lot, but my first question is there a God?
If you ask a question of whether is there a God, it presupposes that you have doubts about the existence of that supreme being who is the source of all energies under the sun.
Yeah, that's our problem, because we are doubting. That is why we are still seeking for the truth.
Yes, but if you are doubting, do you doubt whether you breathe or you don't breathe?
Well, we don't.
You don't breathe?
We don't doubt.
You don't doubt?
Yeah, because we know that we breathe.
Yes, whatever you breathe is something from somewhere.
Okay.
What do you breathe?
That is air.
Have you ever seen the air before?
No.
Now, if you haven't seen the air before, you want to conclude by your question that there is no superior energy which can make you breathe.
Okay. So, who is God?
God, contrary to what religionists or religious persons have been projecting, God is an unseen energy, an endless energy.
Yeah.
You cannot see that energy we call God.
Okay.
The whites decide to call God.
Yeah.
But not seeing that energy does not mean it does not exist.
Okay.
Because that energy is the source of all the river, water bodies, the air, the mountains, everything under the sun.
All right.
That is God.
Okay. So if you are saying that the existence of God is real, the question still goes, in our Christian background, we learned that there is heaven and hell. Does heaven and hell exist? Does it exist?
It depends upon what you decide to call heaven and hell. But whatever you decide to call heaven and hell is based upon your understanding of what you think heaven is and what you think hell is.
Okay.
Some people, you were mentioning Christianity.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't believe in that philosophy called Christianity. But the fact that I don't believe in it does not mean that the Christian philosophy is wrong or right.
All right.
I believe before Christianity came into being, our ancestors have fashioned out some belief system,
okay,
which they used effectively and which we are obligated to use.
Okay. Okay. So, still, you've never answered my question because I asked whether the existence of heaven and hell is true.
Yes, that's what I am telling you, that whatever you choose to believe is your own cup of tea. What is heaven? What is hell?
Okay.
If you do good, you will earn the respect of others. If you do evil,
okay,
you will earn the disrespect.
All right.
So, as far as I am concerned,
yeah,
if you do good, you are in heaven.
Okay.
If you do evil, you are in hell.
Well, you know, in the Christian background, we believe that hell is a fire, a flame of fire where you will be kept for punishment. That is why I'm asking this question.
That's what you believe?
Yeah, that is what we've been told.
Yes, who told you? Has the person been to hell and returned?
Okay.
Have you gone to hell before?
No.
The person who told you, has that person gone to hell before?
I don't have the knowledge about it because they think they have this ability that they can so travel and they witness these things.
Who said they have witnessed hell? Did they not tell you that gold, heaven, when you go, the streets are lined up with gold and what have you? There's milk flowing. Okay. All the good things you can get when you go to heaven.
Yeah.
But have you asked any of them why that place called heaven is so beautiful and yet none of them want to go to heaven?
Okay.
When those who bring out those philosophies,
yeah,
when they fall sick and they know they can go to heaven where there is enjoyment, yeah, why don't they allow themselves to die? And yet they want to go to hospital. The sick priest from the Christian philosophy, yeah, will rush to hospital first to be treated.
Okay.
And yet he tells you there is heaven where you have all the enjoyment. And yet when he is on earth, he is not having the enjoyment, but he doesn't want to die.
Okay, so my question is, who are we? Who are we? We human. What is our purpose on this earth?
Our purpose on the earth is to fulfill our divine mission of living like people who believe in themselves.
So that is the only mission that we are.
Which mission do you want us to pursue?
You know, from the that is why normally I refer this whole interview to Christian background because that's where we are all, you know, brought up.
And that's where you were brought up, not all.
Okay. We were brought up in that background.
Yes.
And they keep on teaching us that if we do good, we have a place called heaven that we are going to enjoy everlasting life.
That's why I was asking, which of them, those who have been teaching you, which of them have gone to that heaven and come back to tell you?
They claim Jesus Christ.
They claim.
Yeah.
I like your saying that they claim. Yeah. Who was Jesus the Christ? Where did they meet Jesus Christ?
In Israel.
Where is Israel?
Okay, we don't know the Israel. We are finding out.
Hey, but you know as a fact that the state of Israel as it exists today, okay, was created by the British. You know that one.
Yeah.
After the Second World War,
okay,
Britain took over the Palestinian lands,
okay,
and named that portion Israel.
Okay.
So you cannot claim that Israel is on Palestinian lands and that is the place where Jesus lived. Now if you go back into their claims,
yeah,
you will see that when Jesus was supposed to have died, Friday afternoon,
okay,
then he woke up Sunday dawn.
All right.
And then they come to tell you that he spent 3 days.
All right.
From Friday afternoon to Sunday dawn. Your school mathematics, does that teach you 3 days?
No. No.
Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Will be the 3 days.
Yeah.
But how come Jesus woke up, allegedly woke up on the 3rd day, on Sunday dawn?
Well, we don't know.
Those who die don't come back to life.
Okay.
So if Jesus truly died, he wouldn't have come back to life. But then, who was Jesus? The story of Jesus has been shrouded in such funny environment that Jesus was supposed to have been born in a manger. Now go and find out where that manger is. Jesus was supposed to have died and was crucified, died and was buried in Golgotha.
Yeah.
At times they will call some different name. So you get to be wondering which particular place Jesus was supposed to have lived.
Okay. So if that is the case, if Jesus, do you believe in religion? Do you believe in a religion?
What do you call religion?
So okay, the religion is a Greek word which means to connect to our source.
Yes.
And now Christianity is teaching us how to connect to our source. And this is what
I want to, before you even get to that one,
right.
The source document of Christianity is what? The so-called Holy Bible.
Yeah, Holy Bible. Yeah.
What makes that Bible holy?
Based on the information that it is going to give.
Based on the information that it's going to give.
Yeah.
Have you ever come across a gentleman named Ptolemy Philadelphus, a Greek?
No.
Okay. Ptolemy Philadelphus was the Greek overlord of the ancient Egypt, who commissioned people they know as the Septuagint, the 70 supposed Jewish intellectuals, who transcribed the hieroglyphs, then called the Hebrew Torah into common Greek, giving the Greek Orthodox Bible. We, the Romans, adopted and called the Holy Bible. But then the Septuagint were supposed to have been in the great library of Alexandria. If we accepted that they were in Alexandria, then what happened? Who gave them the literature they transcribed?
From the pyramid?
No, not from the pyramid. They said it was Hebrew Torah. The Hebrew Torah was supposed to have been the holy text of the Hebrews. Then that takes us down to find out who were the Hebrews and where were they. If you are able to understand that one, you will see that you will be understanding a lot of the falsehood of what have been presented to us as Christianity.
So who are the Israelites? Who are they?
To answer you, I will take you back to Gamal Abdel Nasser. One time, president or head of state of present-day Egypt. He said the Israelites were black people. And if they were black people, they will never accept any white man calling himself an Israelite. Then we had this Adolf Hitler. He said that these people calling themselves Israelites are not Israelites. They were not Israelites. The Israelites were blacks. How come today we have white people claiming to be Israelites?
That is the question I was about to ask.
You were about to ask? The white people are claiming themselves to be Israelites because they want to take over the land. And the land the Palestinians claim that is their land, they are equally not blacks. That area was the land of the black-speaking people. And what happened? They forged a story in their Holy Bible and claimed that their God asked them to be led by Moses from Egypt to cross the Red Sea and go and take over the land of Canaan.
Yeah.
You have heard that in your Christian fable.
Yeah.
They continue giving you stories, and you continue accepting the stories which are never true. If you find out where the so-called Exodus started from, they were supposed to be in the Nile Delta, Goshen.
Yeah.
And from Goshen, the time of the Exodus, they could not have crossed the Red Sea.
Why?
To get to Sinai. And you know up till today that Sinai is still in Egypt. It's part of Egypt.
Okay.
So if we are in Accra now, if we leave Accra and we said God said we should go to some land somewhere, and God was taking us away from the wicked house of whoever is ruling us, and we traveled and went and stayed in Koforidua, whoever is ruling Ghana, we are still under his control. So if you were in Egypt, and God asked Moses to lead you out of the land of Egypt, and you traveled from Egypt and crossed and went to stay in Sinai, which is equally part of Egypt, where have you gone? It means that story is not true. You cannot leave one village in Egypt and go and stay in another village and claim that God said you should leave.
Okay, so where did human being came from? Why are we here? Where did we came from?
If you want to know where humans came from, then you have to go back and ask the creative energy who brought you onto this plane. Because if we are searching for our roots, we will have to go deeper and deeper and deeper to find out our roots.
Okay. Yeah, and you see, the reason why I'm asking, Christian and Islam is claiming that there is these two personalities, Adam and Eve, and out of these two personalities came the whole world.
Is it possible? The two personalities you are calling Adam and Eve, what was their racial complexion? Were they white? Were they black? Were they yellowish?
All these questions are questions that I'm reserving to ask, because if really they existed, then what color?
I didn't make that claim. So you can't ask me about a claim made by somebody else. All right?
Yeah.
The person making the claim will have been the person to answer you, not me.
So who are the first people to be on this earth?
Who wants to know the first person to be on earth? Now in their claim, you want to know.
Yeah, I want to know.
Then you go and search for it.
And that is
because I feel that in the claim that there were just two people, Adam and Eve, it wouldn't make sense to any sensible being. If Adam and Eve were the first persons to come on earth, you will have to explain what, where, and how they came on earth. Even in their Christian Bible, they didn't explain that. Did they?
They never.
They said God created Adam. And then he made Adam to sleep. And created Eve out of his ribs. Is that how all the animals procreate?
No, he created everything too.
Yes. So that claim is not true. How will you explain the existence of such creatures like the lizard? Were they created by Adam as were they created by God as Adam and Eve?
Yeah, he's the same God.
He created
no, he created them in pairs without.
But in the case of Adam, they say he created only Adam.
Yeah.
And then later on realized that Adam needed a partner. Well, what you have been trying to do is to try and confuse yourself. When some white man sees somewhere or some crazy person sees somewhere and manufactures some story and dishes it down to you, then you accept it as truth.
No, that is why we are trying to find out the truth, because we want to know actually where we came about and why we are here.
We are here because this is our land.
So we are never going to leave this land.
Where are we going?
So if that is the case, why do we then die?
Why do you die?
Yeah.
Then you will have to come back and explain why you reincarnate. You come back to earth. Then you are told in our tradition and culture that you are representing your grand ancestor who had passed through this world before.
Okay.
Then they name you after somebody.
Yeah.
Who was that person?
He was also a human being like you.
Yes. And that person, you go back and back and back and back, and you will find some things about that person and that person's lineage. Right?
Yeah.
That person is a human being like you.
Yeah.
But before that person came, there was a human being.
Yeah.
So the answering of the question, who was I at the beginning of time, will not arise, because time has no beginning, neither has it got an ending. All right?
Yeah.
It's timeless.
So, okay, like we've been studying different religions. If you go to the Hinduism, they have this belief that there is a creator whom in our normal language we refer to him as God. And this God is the supreme personality of all the energies, including me and you. And this God have his own place that he's living. And out of his place, he created the heaven and the earth.
You see, what I want you to understand is that if we are dealing with this endless energy, it is a mistake for us to try and assign physical existence to this energy.
Okay.
Like in the Christians, they claim that, and then Jesus went and sat on the right-hand side of God the Father Almighty. If God is a spirit, which I believe is a spirit, then God has not got a right hand. Neither has God got a left hand.
Okay.
And God is not sitting anywhere. The spirit, the air blowing is part of the spirit. So we'll have to accept that one and stop defining God as a physical being. Immediately you start defining God as a physical being, then you have gotten out of range. Because the air blowing is feeding you.
Yeah.
How come you come around and say that you went and sat on the right-hand side of the air? Maybe you can explain that mystery to me.
Well, because he's an energy, he's a personality from the Christian background.
Which personality?
God is a person with arms, because if you read the Bible, it says that God was seated on his throne.
And that's what I'm telling you, that is not true, because God, if we agree is a spirit, has not got a right hand nor a left hand. But immediately you accept that God has got a right hand, he has a left hand.
Yeah.
Then he has the front, he has the back. All right?
Yeah.
If we accept that one, that God has a front and a back, it means anything happening in the back of God, he wouldn't see. Can he see?
He can't. He can't.
He can't see. So it's a lie that God is a personality. If we talk of the all-seeing eye, God cannot have an all-seeing eye and still have a front and a back. Is it possible?
It's not possible.
It's not possible. So that's why we want to zero everything down and say that God is a spirit. And in fact, when you read the Egyptian book of the beginning, it tells you that God is the spirit of all spirits, the father of all fathers, the mother of all mothers. So don't continue that falsehood that God is a physical being with a right hand or a left hand.
Okay. Since we want to learn now,
yes.
You've studied, you've gone to places. We want to ask, if that is the case, today we are here to learn, and my viewers are here to also learn.
Yes.
We want you to, teach us from scratch where you started your journey, what you've seen. That here is the original purpose. Here are the, the origin of, humanity. That is what we want to, teach us today.
Okay. If you want to learn that one,
yeah.
My first point of call was to find out who I am.
Yeah.
Where did I come here?
Okay.
Now, who were the ancestors who brought me here?
Okay.
So, we were in Togo, then we came down to Ghana.
Okay.
And then having come to Ghana, trying to find out what happened. There was an uprising in Togo when the Togolese resisted the French domination.
Okay.
And my father and co had to move and come to settle.
Yeah.
Having come to settle,
yeah.
then we find the environment having some challenges, which we must overcome. I was sent to school, but then when I went back into studying myself, I got to realize that there was an event which happened.
Okay.
Then that event took me journeying back into time. Then journeying back into time, I found out that there were certain events which have happened.
Yeah.
And you will see those events still manifesting today.
Okay.
That you will start tracing the origin of the people.
Yeah.
Till I got down to the Urobos in Nigeria.
Okay.
They are supposed to be of the same linguistic group like myself.
Yeah.
Then you have the Tiv speaking people.
Okay.
Then I went into the land called Ethiopia today.
Right.
And I found that the head of state of Ethiopia at that time, His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie. In fact, we were in a hotel when Haile Selassie was coming from his palace, and the people were just lying prostrate on the ground for him. I said, no, something had gone wrong.
Yeah.
Where from that name, Selassie? Like today the Jah Rastafarians have been talking of Selassie I and all this. Yeah. Then having found that it was he who was coming, and you will see that he was walking along with two lions.
Right.
And that's how he got the name, the Conquering Lion of Judah. Oh, I was taken aback. How can somebody be walking with lions? And you go to his palace, the lions are there. So there is something about this man we have to know.
Yeah.
So when I came back, I went to the Ethiopian embassy and asked them, how come that he is called Selassie, which is a name in my language? They say, oh, during the war time, the Second World War, then our people were recruited from here and sent to Ethiopia. I said, no. This name will have existed long ago.
Yeah.
So finding out from the kingdom of Aksum, when you look at the map of Aksum, which was part of Ethiopia, you look at the map of Aksum, the river known as the Nile today used to be called Seda, which means the divine river, the divine snake.
Yeah.
If that were divine snake, we must find out how it came about.
Yeah.
So you look at the movement of that river, it meanders like a snake. Now you look at the pharaoh's crown, you have the head of a snake. So I tended to side with the Kushites or the Aksumites that the river is called the Snake River. Now, if it is called the Snake River, why did they give that preference to the snake? You have the Jordan River.
Okay.
It's part of the whole system. You have the Jordan River. Then you have the Gulf of Aqaba. You know what is Aqaba?
The Aqaba?
Yes.
No, we don't know.
You have Aqaba on your face?
The mark?
Yes.
Okay.
And the Gulf of Aqaba is still there today.
Yeah.
So if the Aksumites can give the divine snake name to the river, now when you are having difficulties, you are asked to invoke the snake.
Okay. Yeah.
The same snake that your Christian literature was telling you
It's an evil.
was evilish, devilish.
Yeah.
The same snake is the name of the river you have to invoke when you have difficulty. So they say that river is Jordan. Invoke the snake.
Okay, and what the language?
That's the Ewe language.
Ewe language.
Yes. You see that the alphabet J came into the vocabulary quite recently.
Yeah.
Now, even if you pick C, the C in the alphabet does not exist. That's why the Germans, when they are writing, they don't put C.
Yeah.
The Americans, when they are writing, when they write S-C-H-O-O-L, how do they pronounce it? S-C-H-O-O-L.
O-O-L. School.
Well, how can you call one school? And when you write C-E-L-E-B-R-A-T, you call that one celebrate.
Yeah.
But when you are pronouncing the same S-C or the school, you call it school instead of shul. But you have S-C-H-E-D-U-L-E, and you say that one is schedule.
Yeah.
Because C is just pronounced like S.
Yes.
So the C came in and is duplicating.
Right.
The letter J also came in and is playing some funny role.
Okay.
But the original alphabetical order, what the J does today, because they wanted to give a shortcut to it, it was representing DZE or DZ something. Okay. Yeah. When they say Ja, it is D-Z-A-H. Ja. Okay. Not J-A-H. So when you look at it from that angle, and the acrobatics of those who have been compiling the vocabulary, they wanted to take us away from our own pronunciation and languages, and let us adopt theirs. And that is what we have precisely achieved. Yeah. So if we are getting back into ourselves, we will have to go back to find out what was the role of the snake in ancient times. Okay. The Hindus and the Buddhists will tell you the snake is the most intelligent. Yeah. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
You agree?
Yeah. Even the Christian Bible, we agree by just that, because if it isn't intelligent, how can a snake confuse?
Did that event, it actually happen?
No, like from our research, it didn't happen. But since it is there, even inside the Bible, it tells us that the snake is intelligent.
Yes. Now, when you look at the story of the Bible, I will take you back to the Septuagint. Okay. Now, you go to the Septuagint, they were supposed to have transcribed the Hebrew Torah. Okay. Yeah. Now, the Hebrew Torah having been written in hieroglyphics. Okay. At the time the Hebrew Torah was allegedly being written, did anybody transcribe the hieroglyphics? It was just quite recently that they claimed that a Frenchman had been able to break the code. Okay. which enabled them to transcribe the hieroglyphs.
Yes.
Apart from that, nobody. So you have all the confusions in the Bible because they didn't understand, and up till today they don't understand what the symbols meant.
Yeah.
You looked at the divination signs.
Yeah.
Now the divination signs have been credited to the Romans as Roman numbers.
Okay.
But the Romans, were they there? Did they invent any sign? They didn't. Now, if the divination sign, according to Herodotus, it was through the science of divination that they were interpreting the will of God.
Okay.
That endless energy. Yeah. So you go to a diviner now, and you want to know what is going to happen tomorrow. Yeah. The diviner will give you. Yeah. And he will tell you that, okay, you want to do this or that, please don't do it. Okay. If you have to do it, you must do some sacrifices. Okay. But then the Christians came and said, no, everything has been given unto you to do. Yeah. And so you rush and you hit your head against the pillar.
Okay. Okay, so you were talking of the divination.
Yes.
Well, I've ever witnessed, but not that much. And from the divination, they have only two letters, the I and the II. But you were saying that out of the divination symbol that they came about the Roman numerals. So I'm asking, with the Roman numerals, we have a lot of letters.
Like what?
Like we have the V, we have the I, we have the X.
Strike the X and see whether you will not have a two.
Yeah, I've seen. And the
now,
V2,
the science of divination, if you want to study it, you first have 16 houses within the divination sign.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Though you still use the same strokes, you have 16. In the first one, you have what you are calling the I. That is the first one.
All right.
When it marries, then you have Meji.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
When you have a 2, 2, 2, 2, that's Yeku Meji.
Okay.
Now the next one, you have the combination of I and the double I, depending upon their positions.
Okay.
So you have 16 houses.
Okay.
From Bemeji to Fumeji.
Okay.
The messenger of the 16 houses is Chetula, the combination of the same format.
All right.
But Chemeji and Tulameji, when they combine the Che and the Tula, then they give you the Chetula, giving you the messenger of the 16 divination signs. So for anybody to say the Romans have more than us, and the 16 houses, when they marry each other, like Be marrying Yeku, it will be Beyeku. Now, if Yeku marries Be, Yeku Be, they do it that way, they marry each other, 16 times 16 will give you what?
16.
Yes, it will give you 256 houses of the divination sign.
Wow.
And the 256 houses gave you the 256 bytes of the computer program.
Wow. So the whole computer program came out. They had the knowledge from the divination.
How do you put the computer language?
That is the binary. It is 0 and 1. Yeah.
0 is no number.
Okay.
So what do you get?
Now.
You want 1.
1.
And it's still the same stroke you will be doing all over the place.
That is it.
You can do it as a cross. You can do it as a multiple of everything you do. You must come back to that one.
Okay, let's go back to the snake. As you asked that, is the snake, like smart? Is it like does it have intelligence?
The Buddhists will tell you the snake is the most intelligent creature.
Okay.
In everything you do, they say be as smart and sensible as a snake. And what is the snake? What is its function in the scheme of things?
It is very venomous.
Apart from being venomous?
Yeah, I don't have exact knowledge about it.
You have?
Okay, help me out. Yeah, help me out.
The snake will meander through any difficult position.
Yeah.
But the ancients in the Southern Valley recognized the importance of the snake river and called it the divine snake, because the river, when you are looking at it from up in an aircraft, you see it is meandering like a snake. And it provides all the food needs of the people who live there.
All right. Yeah.
When Joseph was allegedly sold into slavery, he was brought to the land where food never gets finished. And they gave him the food. And his brothers came and they also had food. Because of the importance of that snake river, the snake will provide and they will take it. The snake is the symbol of death. But for the purposes of your viewers, I would not like to go into certain aspects of the snake activity.
We are all seeking for the truth.
Yes, we are seeking for the truth. But we must show respect to the sensitivities of the viewers.
And they are all, that is it. You see, there is a saying in the you know, our proverbs that truth hurts when one is closer to it. When one is closer to it, and we are not thinking about how it will hurt it. We are thinking about how we are going to, you know the truth and like be free. That is it.
You know the truth and be free. But when the truth will decide to ignore the sensitivities of people, then it is ideal not to give it raw. Have you got a child?
No.
But you hope to have a child?
Yeah.
How will you have that child?
I want my child to know the truth.
No. How will you have that child?
By having, you know, like, by marrying.
Yes, you marry, and then what happens?
Yeah, we have to, you know, have sexual intercourse before you can.
Okay. What do you use for your so-called sexual intercourse? Is it the sperm which comes out of you which turns into a child, or there is another source of life which comes?
That is a sperm.
Does a sperm result in childbirth?
Yeah, it counts, but it isn't the accurate one. It counts because no, both of us have to, you know, come together before.
You come together, I agree.
Yeah.
If you come together,
the energy will form.
The energy, does it necessarily form?
Well, I don't have any knowledge about it. No.
Now you have, because we have found a situation in which people think that having sexual relationship with a woman or between a man and a woman will result in childbirth. But it is not true. It is not in all cases that happens. In most cases. Otherwise, those we classify as prostitutes, they will have been the mothers of so many children. They don't abort. But how come that they don't have children? There are women who want children, but they don't have. They can go through all the sexual intercourses, but they will never have a child. Why? Because mere sexual intercourse does not result in childbirth. There is an energy which will come to transform that what you call a sperm or a semen or whatever into life. That is the only occasion on which a woman can take seed and give birth. Yeah. You can calculate the time so well, but if that external energy does not play any role, then there is no childbirth.
Okay.
You know that one.
Yeah.
And that the rod which carries the semen or the sperm to give to the woman.
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Look like a snake.
So you have answered the role of the snake.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Wow. I'm even short of words.
You are short of words.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. So like, let's continue your journey.
So when you go into the temple of the Lord Gautama Buddha,
yeah,
what do you see there? You see a lot of snake symbolism.
Yeah.
And when you go into the hieroglyphs, you see a lot of snake representations.
Yeah.
Because snake is the source of life.
Wow. Wow.
Well, when you went to Wida,
yeah,
what did you see?
A lot of pythons.
You see, the white man has a way of playing games with us. He will call one snake, he will call another cobra, he will call the third one python and all.
Yeah.
But what do we say? We say, da.
Yeah, snake.
Da represents everything. We are not playing any games with words.
Okay.
Da. So you go and you see voodoo da.
Yeah.
What is voodoo? Okay.
Voodoo.
Voodoo, yeah.
Voodoo is like, it is like consulting to the energy.
What's the meaning of voodoo? Voodoo.
Voodoo. Okay.
Yes.
That language.
Free the community.
Okay. And what language is that?
That's Ewe.
Ewe. Voodoo.
Voodoo. Do is a settlement. Vo, let it be free. So you will never go to any temple or any shrine where you will not have voodoo da.
Wow. Let's free that.
The Sphinx or Dulagba of Giza.
Okay.
You will see the head of the python was there.
Okay.
The python or the snake's head was on the Sphinx.
Okay.
And then the French decided to break it because it gave the impression that those who built it were blacks.
Wow.
If you allow the broad nose, the thick lips, the bulgy eyes, and the head of the python,
on the crown?
Yes, apart from you have the vulture and the python.
Okay. Okay.
On the crown of the pharaoh.
Right.
But if you see the ears of the Sphinx, you will be seeing a black man's ear.
Okay. Okay. Mentioning the hieroglyphs.
The hieroglyphics.
Yeah, you can see the vulture too. What role does the vulture play?
Vulture?
Yeah.
Nobody is expected to eat vulture.
Yeah.
Why? The angle of the vulture that I looked at is that the vulture stays on very tall trees.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
When there is something which is, if something is dead, a carcass is somewhere where it will create environmental discomfort to the people, the vulture will pick up the scent no matter wherever it is located. It will fly and come to the scene. When it discovers the carcass, what it does is to make out a shrill noise to attract other vultures to come and help it to just clear that carcass from there. They will suck the juice in the bones of the carcass. So they will clear everything and leave the dry bones there so that it does not create any environmental hazard. But what do we see? We have cut down all the tall trees, driving the vultures away to go far, far, far off. And now we have to create another institution called Zoom Lion to be cleaning the environment.
That's true.
What we have been creating, you see a dog or a goat will die on the road somewhere or anywhere, and there is nobody. If Zoom Lion does not come, the vultures now you go far off before you see tall trees on which they land.
Okay.
And when even they come to the community to come and clean up the community, there are those who think that that's a big foul.
Yeah.
So they will kill them.
Okay. We are going for a quick commercial break.
Okay.
Otumfuo TV, yene yamamre, eni yempuntu. Otumfuo TV, oprempon eni yei.
Hello, welcome back once again to the Searching for the Truth show. Sofo, when we are going, we are talking about the Septuagint.
Yeah.
So we want you to give a brief,
Now, like I said earlier, we had Ptolemy Philadelphus, a Greek.
Okay.
He commissioned some Jews to transcribe the Hebrew Torah into ordinary Greek.
Yeah.
Which transcription gave us the book we know today as the Greek Orthodox Bible. Which the Romans also took over. But then we have to find out where did the Septuagint, the 70 Greek Jewish intellectuals had their information from to transcribe and give us the Greek Orthodox Bible.
Yeah.
Now we were told that the Septuagint were put in cubicles inside the great library of Alexandria.
Yeah.
And that library of Alexandria, we have been told that they had nothing, no written documentation. They only were kept in the room, and people, and the Supreme Creator or God came and visited all the 70 Jewish intellectuals and pumped the same idea into their heads. So they transcribed the Hebrew Torah to constitute the Greek Orthodox Bible. Then you have to ask yourself, then this God would have been very wonderful God, that he went to the 70 people and put the same idea into them.
Yeah. Not
quite long after that one, then we discovered that there was the Oxyrhynchus papyrus.
Yeah.
The Oxyrhynchus papyrus was a composition of the Septuagint manuscripts.
Okay.
So which means that there was some manuscript there.
Yeah.
And that manuscript was what the Septuagint used, but the manuscripts were found on a dunghill in a place called Oxyrhynchus by two British archaeologists, researchers.
Yeah.
And when they took these manuscripts back to Britain or UK, the manuscripts were transcribed to give us the St. James version of the Bible. So the St. James version was supposed to be the most authentic version of the Bible because they were holding the manuscripts which the Septuagint had used in Alexandria.
Okay.
And they threw the manuscripts onto a dunghill, 162 kilometers away from Alexandria. So they have exposed the source.
Yeah.
Now, if you claim that is the source of the Hebrew Torah, then the next question you will ask yourself,
where is the source of it?
If the Hebrew Torah was the source of the Septuagint, and the Jews were those who were supposed to have transcribed it into Greek, then where does the Talmud, the Jewish Talmud, the holy book of the Jews, where does it come? If the Septuagint have translated what the Hebrews wrote.
Okay.
Why didn't the Jews translate what they themselves had written? What is the difference between the Jews and the Hebrews? Have you checked that one out?
No.
And we are supposed to have a Jewish state now.
Yeah.
So originally, where were they? When Abraham was coming from Ur to come and enter into Egypt,
Yeah.
what did Abraham carry along?
That was God.
Abraham was supposed to be a Hebrew.
Okay.
And if the Hebrews wrote the Torah,
Yeah.
and the Jews were supposed to be holding the Talmud,
Yeah.
why did the Jews have to translate the Torah, which is Hebrew, instead of their own Talmud?
Talmud.
Then they would have been telling you lies.
Okay.
And the Torah, the Greek Orthodox Bible, you will see that there are so many countries who are having versions of the Bible.
Yeah.
But where did they get the thing from? The source material of the Hebrew Torah.
Yeah.
You know? You know it?
No.
The source material of the Hebrew Torah was the divination.
The divination.
Yes. The science of divination gave the records
Okay.
which they captured.
Yeah.
And they put the records in such a way that you will not know that that was the source. So they could not transcribe what have actually been captured.
Yeah.
And they projected the thing as some Hebrew Torah which will never be understood.
Yeah.
And if it was not understood, why did you come? Until in the 18-something that Figeac Champollion
Okay.
was supposed to have even transcribed the hieroglyphs. Where did the Greeks have their Torah from? Their translation of the Torah.
Yeah.
Because at the time that the Septuagint were transcribing the Torah,
Yeah.
they didn't understand the wording.
Right.
So that's why every 10 years you have a
different
revision
version.
of the Bible.
Yeah.
Now comes King James Version.
Yeah.
King James also has his version of the Bible.
Yeah.
Now you go to even these people, the Brooklyn Papyrus.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Papyrus gave birth to the Jehovah's Witnesses sect.
Okay.
They have their own version.
Okay.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints also have their own.
Yeah.
You go to St. Peter's in Russia, they also have their own version of the Septuagint manuscript.
Okay.
So where did they all get the Septuagint manuscript?
That's the question.
That's the question. And we Africans
Yeah.
who were doing the divinational science,
Okay.
we don't have our own version. Because they have to close the whole thing away from us. And the people who migrated from that place, we were told about an exodus in the Bible.
Yeah.
Where did the exodus go? We were told they crossed the Red Sea and
Red Sea.
went into Canaan.
Canaan.
But was this God so wicked as to say that go and take some other people's land and let it be yours?
Yeah.
Because I have promised it to your ancestors.
Yeah.
And this is the God who is supposed to be the God who
Of justice.
favors justice. And still this God tells some people that go and kill all the men, women, children, and everything you will get on the land and let that land be yours. Could this be a God of justice?
No, not God of mercy.
That he sends his only begotten son to come and die for your sake. And you believe that story? That God sent his son to come and die for you?
For you.
Which son didn't know you? And when you look at the sphinxes and all these things, and there is evidence which was found in the tomb of Pharaoh Ramses III, 1,200-year-old wall painting,
Okay.
showing you that the ancients who lived in the land, they decided to call Egypt were blacks. If they were blacks, what happened to them? Today you cannot find the blacks there again. The predominant black population you can't find again. Where did they go? They embarked upon the exodus. They migrated. And where did they migrate to? They couldn't have crossed the Red Sea and gone into Syria, Palestine and co. They came down to West Africa, west to Southern Africa. Even in North Africa, the black population had been removed. So, when the Greeks were there, the Persians were there, the French were there, the English people were there, the Arabs were there. So they diluted the black population. And all that the blacks wrote, you check all the records and they are telling you that these are the things that were sold to the white people by the Arabs. Because the Arabs didn't know the value of what had been written. So anybody who comes, they give it out. They sell it for some few dollars or whatever, and they make their money. And they enslave the people. You will realize that there was enslavement there. That was the first wave of enslavement. All the records which were kept. In fact, you will know that Cleopatra gave birth to a child for Julius Caesar. And took all the papyrus scrolls and sent it to Rome. And that became the source material for the Renaissance.
Okay, let me ask this question. You've been talking of the divination.
Yes, the
and
science of divination.
The blacks are the the original the diviners.
Yes.
And now it is some particular group of people who are fond of performing this divination.
Yes.
Not the whole yes. blacks.
But what of you? What happened to you? You are a Christian. You went into Christianity. So it just some few people decided to hold on to what their ancestors left for them. You have become a Christian. So you say that one is devilish. It's satanic. You won't believe in it. So fine. Those who want to hold on to it, they are holding on. You go to Yoruba land today, they are setting up universities to teach divination. You go to the Philippines, they are teaching divination. You go to some of our local universities. Those not teaching divination are those who are following the white man's system.
The Bible.
But even if within the context of the white training institutions, the Christian University College in Adenta area here, if you had a very good lecturer, he will teach you the ABC of divination. Go to the Trinity colleges. Go to whatever institutions they are creating. They will teach you, if you want to become a priest, they will teach you all the surface things. And if you are loved by one of your instructors, he will teach you the secret divinational science. Then you acquire that one. You stand in the pulpit and you say, yes, I have seen somebody is following you. And he does all the divination secretly. Now they called some of the traditional priests, come and fortify my church for me, so that people will be coming to the church and will make wonders. There is a church just down here. If you want a husband, come. We will pray for you. Or your grandmother sitting in your village over there is the one worrying you. Your this thing, your that thing, your business is not flowing because they have made a hole into your hand. Come, let me seal it. If the pastor needs money, he calls on you. But if you need money, you go to the pastor, he says, oh, pray to God. You collect your money, he says that money is to be used for the work of God. But he's not the cashier of God. He comes and takes your money and uses it for himself. So if you decide that you will be, with due apologies to those who are Christians, like my brother, that one is your own cup of tea.
So you see the divination, we have three types of, like, does it, act the same way, the cowries and the other one?
You are doing divination to interpret something.
Yeah.
Now, the interpretation, the wording or the words used in the interpretation of whether you are using the cowries or the gumaga is the same.
All right.
1, 2. Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay.
So if the cowries turn down is 2.
Yeah.
If it turns up is 1. So when they are calculating, they will see the number of 2s that have come, the number of 1s that have come. Yeah. And if you are graduated in the science of divination, you will know how to interpret them.
Wow. Wow.
You see that they have songs to sing. Okay. They have invocations to do. They do all that one. If you want to be an expert in divination, then you must go to the school. Okay. If you go to Shalom Sport area there is this Fan Vivian, Lashibi. You know Lashibi? The owner of the Fan Vivian is a powerful diviner.
Wow.
A retired colonel.
Wow.
But he wouldn't tell you anything. Until you consult him, the diviners, when they have their children, they give certain peculiar names to their children.
Wow.
When you meet someone called Amuzu, you must straight away know that that is a child of a diviner.
Wow.
Or Akapo.
Akapo.
They have certain peculiar names which are reserved for them.
Wow. Wow.
So when you get the name, then you know that you are dealing with a diviner's child. Maybe he will grow up to become a Christian, or he will grow up to become a Christian, and the later stage of his life, he will have to come back.
Yeah.
Amagashi. Amagashi is a priest.
Wow.
So when you hear somebody being called Amagashi, then you know that this person is a priest or a descendant of a priest.
Okay.
So all the names have their uses. But we have become black-white people.
Yeah.
Like we are called James, John, Philip, which are not relevant to the psychic nature in which we have manifested. Now, when they say some people are called Avis, what is the meaning of Avis?
Avis.
Yes.
2.
No, I didn't say Eva. I said Avis.
Avis. I don't have any knowledge about that.
Eva.
Yeah.
They said the Creator said, my children will be called by my name.
Yeah.
And what is the name? You go to some of the shrines, like you went to Kleko, you have the Yeva shrine there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeva is the name of the thunder deity.
Oh, okay.
And the children are called Yeva Shiu.
Okay.
Or Vow. Eva talks about a valley. So when they were living in the valley, they were Avis.
Okay.
Now your 23rd Psalm says what? Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
I'll fear no.
Where is that valley of the shadow of death?
The Nile River.
Yes, there is a valley. You have the tomb, the burial ground of the kings here.
Yeah.
And across you have the burial ground of the queens.
Yeah.
There is a hill here, there is a hill here. In between the two hills is what? The valley of the shadow of death. Because there is death here, there is death here. In between the two tombs, you have the valley.
Yeah.
Now, when we enter into Abyssinia again, we will have Ta. We talked of Ta.
Okay. Yeah.
Ta is a lake. Ta is to crawl. So in Abyssinia or Ethiopia, we have a lake called Tana. Ta for lake, Na for mother. So that's the mother lake which gives you the southern Takazi Abayi river source. And it throws the water every year to fertilize the
land
field.
Okay.
And everybody enjoys from that one. But what do we do here? Nothing.
You're praying to God.
Praying. And God says, if you not lift it to your shoulder, it will not help you take it to your head.
So the question is, does the black race have a future? Based on we leaving our customs behind?
That is an interesting question. I always have to give assurance to all of the black race that we have a future. Our future can be consolidated if we return to our roots, our cultural roots, our spiritual roots.
Okay.
Because if you leave your culture behind and you are following anybody's culture, don't think that you have any future.
Okay. So what is the relationship between the Evers and the black race?
The Evers are blacks.
Yeah, they are blacks.
Yes.
But okay, what? The reason why I'm asking this is during one of our interviews,
yes,
we are also seeking for the truth like this, and one man referred, it was through that man that we got to know you, because he referred us to that if you want to know the exact truth, we should consult an Ever man. That is why I'm asking that what secret have they kept it? What secret are they grooming it that they don't want to expose it to we who are not ready to embrace the truth?
Secret?
Yeah.
Those who are called the Evers, majority of them even don't know themselves.
That is true. Yeah.
I went to is it a Buddhist temple or something at on the way to Nsawam?
Yeah, the Hare Krishna temple.
Hare Krishna, where they worship the bull.
Bull, okay, all right.
They have these cows. They don't eat cows and all. And you have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because to them the cow is a god.
A god.
Yes. I went there and you come to see the number of Evers who are inside there.
Yeah.
Then you start wondering, why did you leave yours at home and you have come? Because somebody comes to tell you that, oh, Hare Krishna, and you continue singing, Hare Hare Krishna Krishna. Why? Did you want to tell the creative energy that discriminated against you? So you left what was given to you and you are going to follow someone else's. Is that one fair?
No.
The thing you are looking for
is behind
is with you. And you have left it, and you want someone. You have swallowed someone's, and you think that that is the correct thing.
Yeah.
You have not been denied.
Yeah.
You have been given all that you want.
Okay.
Go down, travel along the southern Volta Strait, and see the number of rivers that we have. See the number of fertile lands, the acreage of fertile lands that we have. See the lagoon bodies. Everything that you will need. The mountains are there. Whatever you want to develop, you will have them. But no, you don't want that one. You want to come and sit in Accra and be dancing around in semicircles thinking you are developing.
Wow.
I went to Trifopraso, and you look in the cocoa farms, and you see most of our people are there.
Wow.
No wonder an honorable member of parliament can tell us that we are Togolese, we are far from the truth, that they have to prevent us from voting. Because you have left what you have.
That is it.
tilapia, everything, the water bodies can give you everything. The rice, the farms can give you the rice you need.
Yeah.
Now you don't want that one. You want to go and be laboring in somebody's cocoa farm. That's your problem. I believe majority of our people too are up north.
Yeah.
The land is there. The land will not come to you. You will have to go to the land and develop it.
That is it.
But what are we doing? We can get salt. Salt, you can get free. But we don't want. We want to go to school and go and learn ABC.
Yeah.
And come out and be looking for white-collar jobs. The white-collar jobs, we don't exist. You want it. If you don't want to know yourself, nobody will help you know yourself.
If you don't want to know yourself, nobody will help you to know yourself. It seems our time is far gone. We would like to end the program here. So, do you have something to tell the others? Do you have something to tell the others that they should get back to and read the black in general? Do you have something to tell us?
I have some writing up in my office which says that he who has lost his cultural roots has lost his spiritual strength. If Eves and the blacks want to know themselves and to develop them, they must get back to their roots.
Okay.
If you continue to lose your root, you will continue to dance in semicircles. You see, dancing in semicircle, you start from one place
and you go back to
and you get back to the same place. So if you want to know yourself, you can develop. If you don't want to know yourself, then you can follow the Koreans, the Chinese. Nobody will prevent you.
If you want to know yourself, you will know yourself. Here ends today's episode, and I hope we can meet in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Otumfuo TV, yene amamre ene yempuntu. Otumfuo TV, oprempon ene yen.